Hello, it's Lord Toritori here. Now, I have a statement for all the men of England. Oh, yes, Scotland and Wales and the other one as well, Northern Ireland. Yes, fellas' wives can watch too. We're very inclusive here. This is for everybody. The statement begins. I do not seek high office for its own sake, but if my friends and colleagues were to persuade me that it was in the national interest, then I would be prepared to allow my name to go forward to the Queen as Britain's next Prime Minister. This is in the event of a vacancy. But I have looked into this, you see. You may think that because I sit in the House of Lords that it's not possible, but it entirely is. We have the precedent of Lord Hume in 1963, was in the House of Lords, renounced his title, so I'd pass it to my younger brother for the duration. And what he then did was, there was a by-election coming up, had the Conservative candidate stand down, he stood instead. Parliament waited until he was elected. It took them a few weeks, but they were happy to wait. He was elected as an MP, and there you are, you see, Prime Minister in the House of Commons. He was Prime Minister anyway, even while they'd stopped Parliament. So that's what they did in 1963, so we could do that again. And you see, we don't have to have any of the current chancellors from the cabinet. I've got a number of chums from my days at Eton who I think would serve us well. Lord Bangham-up of Pentonville as Home Secretary, and I was thinking Lord Rattlestick for Foreign Secretary. He's travelled quite a bit, you see. These people are in the House of Lords, but that's okay. You can be a cabinet minister in the House of Lords. Lord David Frost, for example, I know he buggered up Brexit, but it demonstrates you can be in the cabinet. So Lord Rattlestick, as I say, he's travelled plenty. He knows some Russians. He'd know what to say to the Russians, such as get off the land if it's not yours, or give us some donations, if or both, depending on the current state of play. What else? Finances, Treasury. Lord Fiddlepot of Cayman helps me with all my finances. So you see, we could have a complete new team. Well, if we wanted a little bit of continuity, we could have somebody from the current cabinet. Dowden, a young man, well behaved, wouldn't cause any trouble. So I think we'd be well set. Oh, what do you think, Simpkins? Diversity? Yes, well, we could have one of the young blonde women as Culture Secretary. So that would deal with that. Yes, kind of racial diversity as well. There's that young Dawn Butler. I thought she was quite outspoken in the Commons. Little bit of determination there. Well, yes, but if she's Labour, get her to defect. That's been done. And you have an incentive, you see. You have the incentive of defect to the Conservatives, and you can join the cabinet. So that's a bit of a prize. Now, I know I would need to be elected. I know some of you might raise the question of, suppose I didn't get elected in the by-election, but you see, the constituents would have the privilege of electing the next Prime Minister. And, if they didn't elect me, there's no point electing anybody else, because Parliament's not going to sit until I arrive there. So you're not going to send anybody else to Parliament. So you're covered both ways, really. We could work out the policies that we need when we get there. But you see, I would be very well suited for the role, bearing in mind my gift of communication to the general populace, as these videograms have demonstrated, and the insights into policy. So, for example, the question that Brexit enabled the British clubs in football to break away from the European Super League. You did hear the Prime Minister talking about that at Prime Minister's Question Time, but he got it from here, you see. I'd been making the point earlier. So there's a question of who has the leadership, who is thinking of these things to start with. So, happy to put my name forward. If you do have an MP who is a Conservative, I mean, most of them are, then do feel free to recommend me to them in the event of the vacancy that there might be. And if you have any questions at all about this leadership bid, please feel free to type them in the videos. The estate office prints them out, you see, and sends them to me, puts them in front of me with the post, just as if you'd sent me a proper letter. So I'll be happy to respond, explain anything that you need. Thank you for your interest in this, and I look forward to your support. I think that's about it, Simpkins. Yes, okay. Oh, actually doing the job. No, good point. It's not a problem, really, you see. I could keep on Toritori Towers. You sell off checkers, they don't need that. I could be here in the country when needed. Go into London on those occasions. I know you've got to be there on a Wednesday morning, haven't you, in Parliament? And if you've got a cabinet meeting and so on. But Zoom is very good for having meetings even when you're not there. And there wouldn't be any of these parties in Downing Street with me, you see. Have them all back at Toritori Towers, so you wouldn't have anything to worry about there. So, as I say, any questions for me, just type them in and I will do my best to respond. Thank you very much. Simpkins, yes, you can come and switch it off now. Thank you.